Okay, so I actually forgot I was Golden Nugget, but when Jacqueline asked me, I was like, oh, I have something I could share, because I had it a while that I was going to share with you guys, but I don't remember why I didn't. Anyway, what I want to talk to you about is I don't know, I think I've talked to you guys about this before, about hearing God and hearing his voice and knowing that you're his children, you do hear his voice. But have you guys ever gotten a word that you felt like God told you and you questioned it? Like, God, is this really you? Are you really telling me this? Have you guys ever had that? Yeah. Okay, so see, I had that just recently. I'm going to tell you a little story. So a couple months ago, I can't remember how many months ago, but I really felt like the Lord was telling me it's time to quit my job. Okay. At AWM, you guys, I work at the ministry, and I was like, are you sure, Lord? You really want me to quit? Is it time? I'm already I knew I was transitioning out. I just didn't know exactly when the transition would be. And I'm going to be going to work for a wedding venue. I'm really excited about it. But I thought that was down the road, right? But then, they started coming to me for more things, and they had more plans and things like this. And it just was like, I had to keep turning them down for weddings they wanted me to train on, because I had things going on at my other job. That was my priority. And so when the Lord told me to quit, I was just like, I don't know, that's really scary. That's guaranteed income right there every 2 weeks, right? I'm not gonna lie, it was money that scared me to quit. I was like, this is I know I'm gonna get this every 2 weeks. I know I get my 40 hours, I'm good. You want me to quit? Lord, are you sure? And so I called my mom. She's in the hospital at the time. I called her, and she's like, Chastity, quit, just quit. I was like, okay, Mom, okay. And I didn't though. I waited. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk to another friend that I thought was sound counsel. I'm like, I'm going to talk to her. And she told me, oh, nope, it's not time. You're not hearing from the Lord, right? And I was like, okay, now I'm confused. Now let me tell you one thing with that, okay? When God tells you something and you seek wise counsel, be careful who you seek counsel from. Because if it causes confusion, that's not God. I'm just going to tell you right there. That is not God if it causes confusion, because God isn't confusing, right? He doesn't bring confusion. So, and I got confused, and I sat in that for weeks, and I still didn't quit my job. And then I was like, I actually had a friend call me, and she's like, the Lord told me I needed to talk to you about something. Something's going on. Tell me, what's up? And so I told her what's going on, and she's like, Chas, quit your job. It's basically, at the end of it, it was like, it's time. And it confirmed what I had in my heart. I was so scared to quit. I remember even talking to Zach about it, Zach, is it time? What do I do? I was so scared. But he was, he's like, if this is God, you quit. And so I turned in my notice and I quit. And man, it's like God has opened so many doors. And now I'm going to be starting training with the wedding venue. And then in a few months, I will be moving to Arizona. But I know this is God. He confirmed it with me. He even told me, I had someone pray with me, and he's like, they looked at me and said, God's saying thank you. Because I said yes. So guys, when God tells you to do something, you say yes and you do it. And don't let confusion get in there. Us youth leads, I guarantee you, we've all been there. I just told you a story. I just was. And when I said yes, oh my gosh, the freedom it brought, I can't even tell you. There was so much peace when I talked to my boss, and I was like, you know what, look, I really felt like this is where God is taking me. I'm going to be moving. I just feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. And he's like, this is a great opportunity, Chas. You can't pass it up. He's like, I'm so excited for you. It was like God was telling him, this is her time and she's got to go. I gave him a really nice 2-month resignation, so I didn't leave him hanging. So, but man, the freedom it brings when you listen to God and you know that it's him. When you're confident that God's told you something, listen to him and stand firm in what he's told you to do. with every, like, take every decision that you have, even a little decision. Like when you're driving down the road, when you guys get there, some of you already are. But even the little things God cares about, and you hear his voice. I know all of you do. You hear his voice so clearly, and he loves you so much. So just follow him and don't let confusion get in there. And then if you want to give, the bucket's over there.
Thank you so much. Woo, give her a round of applause. That was awesome. Amen. When you have, like, I don't know, it just hits home when someone, like, brings in a personal, like, story with it, doesn't it? Yeah. And there's two things, like, that's so important with what Chastity was sharing. Like, confusion is not from the Lord, but peace is. And just because something is uncomfortable doesn't mean you can't have peace in the midst of that discomfort, you know? Because I'm sure it was, like, uncomfortable to go to her boss and be like, so I'm going to quit. But that peace was there, that knowing from God was there. And I love, too, in her story, how, like, God will confirm things to you as much as, like, you ask him. Isn't that awesome? Like, even when, like, confusion comes, that doesn't just mean you have to figure it out on by yourself. You just keep going back to God and being like, Lord, help. Like, think about if Adam and Eve had done that in the garden instead of just being like, oh, well, I don't know, I guess I'll eat of the fruit. They could have been like, hey, God, can you confirm what you said about this fruit? And he would have, you know what I mean? So, anyways, God's cool.